Creating a MYOB data file for your business. There are a couple of things you need to decide before you start. Which financial year you want to start your file in. Remember, in Australia, financial years run from the 1st of July in one year until the 30th of June in the next year. And we name our financial year by the year it finishes in on the 30th of June. For example, if the year starts in July 2009 and finishes in June 2010, then we would call it the 2010 financial year. Or if it starts in July 2011 and ends in June 2010, then we would call it the 2012 financial year. Some people might start their business in a previous financial year, say March 2011, which would be the 2011 financial year. So they would put the financial year in MYOB as 2011 and go back and keep all their entries from that financial year. They would then have some history to compare, or they might not have done their tax for 2011 year, and they can enter the data in MYOB and give it to their accountant. You should also have an idea of how you want your chart of accounts to be set out and how you would like your profit and loss to look. You should roughly design it, working out your income accounts or types, your cost of goods sold accounts, and your expense accounts. When you start your MYOB data file, you can select the closest one by industry and use that and make changes to it once you have started the data file. Remember, in MYOB, all asset accounts start with a 1, all liability accounts start with a 2, all equity or capital accounts start with a 3, all income accounts start with a 4, all cost of goods sold accounts start with a 5, all expense accounts start with a 6, all extraordinary income accounts start with a 8, all extraordinary expense accounts start with a 9. Nothing starts with a 7. I don't really know why. MYOB will classify the accounts in this numbering for you in whichever sample chart of accounts you select. Okay, so let's create that MYOB data file that you're going to use. Once you've selected the icon of the version of MYOB you're using, you'll be brought to this Welcome To screen. It'll be Welcome to AccountWrite Standard, AccountWrite Plus, whichever version you've purchased. From that point you go create a new company file. Here you are brought to the Welcome to the New Company File Assistant, and this will talk you through doing it. Now from this point you would hit next. You would put your 12-digit product serial number in. I'm not going to do this for the sake of this exercise. It says here your serial number is located on your registration card and on the back of your CD sleeve. Put in your company name. Now let's say I'll make this one Grouse Proprietary Grouse Services. Let's call it that. And you put in your ABN. I'm just going to do a bit of a dummy here. I think that's how many. Yes, that's right. The address. Now here you can put your post office box address or your street address, whichever address you're going to use. So 123 Rouseville. You can put in a phone number if you want, a fax number, an email address if you want. Then you would select Next. Now, when we were talking about the financial year before, this is where you need to have made up your mind and enter in what you want. So I'll say 2012. I'll say the last month of my year is June. I'll say the conversion month we'll say is July, because we're going to start it from the 2012 year, and the number of accounting periods, I would always put 12. Few use a 13th period. I would always put 12 and then put next. And this just confirms the information that you've just entered. So as long as you're happy with that, you would select next. Now, this is where we talked about earlier. You could use one, you would match the one closest to your business. So I always select this. You can build it if you want, but look, it's just as easy to do it this way. At least it gives you a start. Then you would go next. Now I will pick one here. I'll be a service industry, and I will pick one. Let me think. I'll be a computer consultant. Then I'll say next. Now here you've got to create basically your company file name. Now I'm happy for it to be Grouse Services, but you could change it here and call it Big Nose Letters or whatever you wanted to call it. I'm going to stick with Grouse Services, but if you changed it, you change it here and then select Save. So then you would go next, and at this point it's creating the company file. It's really that quick. Now you can go straight to the Setup Assistant or straight to the Command Center. The Setup Assistant can be accessed even if you go straight to the Command Center. So at this point, I will go straight to the Command Center, and as you can see from Setup, you can select that Easy Setup Assistant. And that's it. Now you have created your first data file.